I'm here with Joe Rotella, and Joe, you bought these awesome arm bracers and masks and stuff. They're all made out of plastic.
Yeah, it's so cool, and it's just a thermoplastic that when you heat it up, you can shape it and form it, and then it keeps its shape. You want to see how we did it?
I do, because it looks really fancy, but I said it's actually quite easy to do.
It is, it is. So anytime you're making a cosplay piece, you need a little stiffness. So we're going to make a sandwich between thermoplastic, craft foam, and thermoplastic. So I made a pattern, and there's going to be instructions on the website how to do that. And this is half. Can you see half of my bracer? So we need 2 pieces of craft foam like this, one on this way and one on this way.
So the mirror image.
And I have those done here, so we don't need that anymore.
Okay.
And then we're going to do the same thing and cut out the thermoplastic, but you want it about, I'd say a centimeter larger. And so I've traced it.
Not than the pattern.
And I've traced it and cut most of it out, but look how easy it is to cut. It's like a breeze.
Oh yeah, it just cuts really smoothly and easily. Of course, because it's plastic, it doesn't get a jaggedy edge or anything. It's nice and smooth.
Yeah, and I don't have to make this perfect. Now we're ready to make a sandwich. So the same thing as the craft foam, you have to have a mirror image. I've got the 2 together. I've got a craft foam piece ready to go. It helps if you know which way it's going to go when you start. Now we're going to heat it up.
Now I noticed that there is a rough side and a shiny side of this. Does it matter which side is up?
Nope, both are adhesive, and it'll stick to itself as long as it's warm, both pieces.
So it will, you don't need any adhesive of any kind, but once it's hard, it's not going to stick to anything. Yep. And can you stick other things to it or just to itself?
You can, and you can always attach with other adhesive. Now I'm just getting this warm, and I'll know it's about right when it's tacky, and I'm not scared to touch it.
I was going to say, you're using a very serious heat gun. You have your table protected with a Teflon sheet. There's a block of wood under here. We're really making sure that everything is heat safe.
This is starting, you can feel it. You'll feel it a little sticky.
Oh yeah.
Right, so I've got this nice and warmed up, both halves. Now we're ready to make our sandwich. Just be careful of the tip of that. And, you know, I'm Italian, so we're making a calzone.
I was gonna say, it's a lobster calzone, because that looks like a lobster claw to me.
But here's the cool part, look, that's adhering.
Oh, you know, actually, this is like making wontons or ravioli or any of those things where you sandwich something in the middle of 2 pieces of dough.
And you can use the edge of your scissors to get a really crisp line here like this. That's it. That's the whole process.
So this really rigid plastic essentially softens enough for you to do it. Now, can you overheat it? Is there like a magic?
You can. You'll know it when it happens because it'll wrinkle and crinkle.
Okay.
Now,
and if there are places that you didn't get, can you reheat them?
Heat it again and just press.
Okay.
So once this has got a nice clean edge, you want to trim it. You don't want to be so close that you break the seal.
Okay.
But look how nice it trims, especially now because it's warm.
I see.
But that's a seal.
Oh, it is. It's completely and totally sealed in there.
So once you've done that and you have your 2 halves, we're ready to join them together. And so we don't have to go through the whole process. I'm just going to heat up these edges, and it's the same process because it's self-adhesive. You know, these 2 things would stick together. Now, this isn't going to be warm enough to stick, but all you're going to do is line them up like this and go right down the line.
And then they would adhere, and you'd be able to form it into this.
Well, even because it's not that hot, I can put it right on my arm and you bend it into place.
Oh.
I think the fun part, though, is embellishing. So when you first put it together, it could have a little seam here, could have a line. I just take scraps. Never throw away your scraps.
Why?
Because you just heat them up and fill your seams.
Oh, so that makes so much sense to me, because you can just use them over and over because they can become anything.
Every little piece. And so when you fill it seams, it might get bumpy, but we have a smooth one here. Now we embellish it. Let's
So you
cut
just
a piece.
sanded that down, right?
Yeah, just use a little sander.
Okay, so I'm just going to cut some embellishments. And now we already cut part way, because I've always found with like these intricate shapes that one of the things that you want to be sure that you do is cut twice to really get a nice clean cut. You just cut twice in the same place.
So if you put that down, I'll heat it up.
Cool. Oh, you want this?
Yeah, just give me one. And if it blows away, you just like hold it.
So
but remember to adhere, I need both places to be a little bit warm.
I love that you can really just cut something so thick. Look at that. Whoa.
Look at that.
That's so cool, and it's curved. And look at this little gear that came out. That's really awesome.
And if you want any other piece, so here's a scrap.
Yeah.
Didn't you play with this? What did we do?
I did. So I have to confess, when you showed me this yesterday, my mind was a little bit blown just because I was able to take some scraps and make a ring.
So that's
It's kind of an ugly ring.
You know, we can just roll it all together.
Yeah.
And attach it. Now we can do pieces just like we have here.
I was gonna say, that's how you see all the coils and all that stuff. It's really cool.
And we added an interior support and some little D-rings so that we could lace it up to put on our arm.
Oh, you know what? When I first saw this, I thought these were leather, but I see now that they're actually the same plastic. It's just because they're so bent and supple. And actually, you have a great tip about the pattern that you were going to say that people can find online.
So the pattern, to start, I wrap your arm in clear plastic wrap, then duct tape, cut up down here, lay it out flat, cut it in half. Here's the first pattern. And then here's one where I've got that centimeter border, and I don't have a big enough printer. So I printed 2 halves. I always like to put a star or something, and then I can line up the pieces better.
The other thing you told me that I really like is these big rolls come, and you want to use them right away, but you said get ready a day before, and why is that?
Well, because when you unroll them, they really are curled up. But if you lay them out on a flat surface at about room temperature, look at that beautiful sheet.
This monster sheet that you can use to really make like a breastplate for cosplay, to make all kinds of huge things that you would need a large piece.
But you know, even if you need a large piece and don't have it, it just sticks to itself like our little calzone.
Which is so cool. And I noticed by the finished one, which looks so cool, that you can obviously paint it.
Absolutely.
And
you don't have to seal it or anything first to paint it.
Are you using just regular acrylic paint?
Absolutely, yep.
And obviously you've embedded some of these big stones in here.
So heat the bottom layer of the thermoplastic so it's a little sticky. Then you can embed your stone, and then we just rolled up scraps to wrap them around the stone.
And so, I mean, it obviously comes in this color, and I can see the black, and the masks have been made using those 2 colors.
With just scraps.
That's
Those
really
are all just little
cool.
scraps. And the nose is just taking a bunch of scraps like we did before.
I feel like I look really good as a monkey. I'm just saying.
But if you think about it, how many things could you make where you just heat something, shape it, and then it holds its shape?
That's really cool, Joe. Thanks so much.
Thank you.